Hello, great people. The name of the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, has been on every lips. The concern grew intense after video surfaced of Nyesom Wike limping. So the big question is, why is Nyesom Wike limping? Don't forget that before now, there have been concerns as regards the stature of Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike has always been a chubby guy, but he suddenly moved from chubby to lean. And just when Nigerians are raising concerns, when they are comparing his picture with that of his mates, when they are comparing his old picture to recent picture, then the video surface of Nyesom Wike limping. So the big question remains, why is Nyesom Wike limping? What is Nyesom Wike suffering from? What brought the health condition? How did Nyesom Wike brought the situation upon himself? What can he do to rescue himself if he decides to act fast? We'll be looking at all these issues and a whole lot more on this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Omosoladeji. First, the video that surfaced recently is Nyesom Wike limping, and I believe that you can see the video on your screen right now. In that particular video, you can see that Nyesom Wike is, you can see two main things in that particular video, which is that the wrist of Nyesom Wike has dropped, so he's suffering from what we can call wrist drop, and his legs seem to be on a voyage on his own. He seems to have lost grip of his leg, and in that particular video, you will see that the hand and the leg seem to be on the same side. So what is Nyesom Wike suffering from in this particular instance? He is suffering apparently from a condition called hemiplegia. What is hemiplegia? Well, before I go into the definition of hemiplegia for you, I think it is good for us to kind of like understand some background before I go into the meaning of hemiplegia, how Nyesom Wike contracted it, how he could have contracted it, and what could be the consequence of this for the health of Nyesom Wike. Now, let us look at something, which is Wike suddenly started growing lean, and people were comparing his picture with that of Emeka Ike. Some people even compared his picture with that of Charlie Boy, and they were saying that Nyesom Wike is richer than Emeka Ike, for instance. Nyesom Wike has more power and influence than Emeka Ike. So why is Nyesom Wike, despite all his power, his money, his influence, why is he growing lean? And people that are not as rich as him, people that don't have power and influence as him, are looking young, they are looking fresh. And what is wrong with Nyesom Wike? Now, we need to take note of that, because suddenly going from chubby to lean is an effect of an underlying health condition. Now, the big question is, why would a chubby man that has everything in his control except control over his own life be growing lean? Nyesom Wike, if you look at him, he's a successful man, he's an accomplished politician, he has everything within his control. He's the godfather of Rivers State, and the president has apparently handed Rivers State to him indirectly. So if you look at it, why would somebody like that be going from chubby to lean? But first, you see the video that you are seeing on your screen right now. I met a pharmacist some time ago, many years ago. The pharmacist told me that, you see, people don't die or just fall sick instantly. That there would have been something in the body that leads to that death. Except people have accident and they die. That people do not just die suddenly like that. That there is an health condition that would have been manifesting in the body. So the wrist drop of Nyesom Wike and his limping leg is not just starting today. It is as a result of a manifesting health condition that Nyesom Wike has failed to take note of. So now the big question is, what is hemiplegia? Now, hemiplegia means half in Greek. Hemi is a Greek word for half. So now the big question is, what is hemiplegia? Now, hemiplegia is a loss of muscle function, which you can call paralysis in one side of the body. And that's why if you look at Nyesom Wike's video, he seemed to be losing control of one side of his body. He seemed to be in perfect control of the other side, which is intact, but the other side of the body seemed to be losing control of it. And that is what we call hemiplegia, which is a loss of muscle function in one side of the body. Now, Nyesom Wike's own is at the early stage of it, and that is why he can still kind of like rescue himself if he decides to act fast. Now, how did this hemiplegia come into being? You see, the human brain is divided into two hemispheres, and I will illustrate it for you. The human brain is divided into two hemispheres, which is the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Now, let us use this image as an example. Now, this circle we can say this circle is the human brain, and this is the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Now, there would be hemiplegia if one side, either the right or the left, it doesn't matter. It may be the right sphere or the left hemisphere. Any one of it that has an issue, then there would be hemiplegia. So if you look at Nyesom Wike's body, now there seems to be one side that has an issue, and that particular side, there seems to be a kind of like loss of muscle function in that particular side. So now, since you know that human brain is divided into two hemispheres, now hemiplegia occurs when one side of the hemisphere is damaged, or should we say in this case damaging. Hemiplegia occurs when one side of the hemisphere is damaging, and what could be the major cause of that, which is a reduction of oxygen and blood supply to the brain. So as Nyesom Wike is now, with profound respect to him, there seems to be a reduction of oxygen and blood supply to his brain. And when there's a reduction in oxygen and blood supply to the brain, it often leads to a loss of muscle function in that particular hemisphere of the brain. So if there is a reduction of blood supply into the left hemisphere, then there would apparently be paralysis in that left hemisphere. If it is the right hemisphere, then that right hemisphere would suffer loss of muscle function, which you can call paralysis. Now, other causes of this thing is stroke. You see, this thing that is wrong with Nyesom Wike is one of the early signs of stroke. In fact, Nyesom Wike is lucky that he is not down completely. He's lucky that he can still kind of like move his body. He can still, participate in one or two activities. Now, another thing that can cause it, which seem not to apply to Nyesom Wike, is car accidents. Then another thing that can cause it, apart from car accident, is when people have serious falls. When people fall down, suddenly, and the fall is very serious. Now, the fourth one that can happen is infections. When people contract some kind of serious infections, they can suffer from hemiplegia. So, from these four reasons, there are other reasons, but let us just limit it to these four. From these four reasons that I have explained to you, the one that can be responsible for this thing that is apparently happening to Nyesom Wike is stroke or infection. Now, if you look at it, car accident, Nyesom Wike has not been reported to have car accident. He has not been reported to have any serious fall. So the big question is that what can Nyesom Wike do? And if you look at the features in Nyesom Wike's body, there's this kind of like weakness and stiffness in one side of the body, and it seems to be losing control of the weak side of that body. So he seems to have this weak grip and poor balance. It's not balanced as the way it should be, or the way it was some years ago. So the thing is that Nyesom Wike now needs to be very careful, because it is at the early stage, and the good news is that this condition can be reversed. This condition of hemiplegia can easily be reversed if he is lucky, and if he decides to kind of like give himself the actual treatment that he's supposed to give himself. So the big question then is, what does Nyesom Wike need? Looking at the information in public domain about the personnel of Nyesom Wike, what does Nyesom Wike need to save himself from total stroke? What does he need to keep himself fit, at least for some period of time? Looking at the personality of Nyesom Wike, I must say that Nyesom Wike needs four things. And Nyesom Wike needs four things. One of those four things that he needs is, number one, to stop alcohol. There have been reports of Nyesom Wike, at every corner of the society that he's used to alcohol, he loves alcohol. Even the former governor that handed over to Nyesom Wike and his former close ally, Rotimi Amechi, also made that particular statement. So if it is true, then Nyesom Wike needs to stop alcohol, not reduce alcohol. He needs to stop alcohol. Then Nyesom Wike also needs to give himself peace of mind. He needs peace. He needs to find what we call internal peace, because he seemed to be too worried. And I pointed out that Nyesom Wike started growing lean when this issue of River State when it occurred, it was as if Nyesom Wike, if he lose River State, it was as if he was losing his life. It was as if he was losing everything that matters most to him. You see, life itself, like power, is transient. So Nyesom Wike, first of all, needs to give himself peace of mind first, so that he can have that life to use, and he can be useful to himself, then to his family, then to his community, then to Nigerians, and maybe River State and the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, what does Nyesom Wike also need again? Looking at his personality, he needs reconciliation. You see, when too many people are against you, when too many people are speaking bad about you, when too many people are cursing you, it has its own effect itself naturally, because as they say, the voice of man is the voice of God. So Nyesom Wike needs reconciliation with some key people around him. When he was reported to have collapsed, Nyesom Wike needs to think that what if he had truly collapsed and died? What would have happened? And that is why I would recommend reconciliation for Nyesom Wike. The fourth thing is that he needs less battle. Nyesom Wike needs to fight less. He's into too many battles. You are the one fighting Rotimi Amechi. You are the one not in good terms with Goodluck Jonathan. You are the one not in good terms with Siminalayi Fubara. You are the one not in good terms with Atiku Abubakar. You are the one not in good terms with Uche Secondus. Too many battles. He needs to fight less battles. Then the ultimate one, which is the big one, is Nyesom Wike needs therapy. He needs the expertise of an occupational therapist to be able to give him adequate therapy. But the reason why I brought this last is the fact that if the first four things that I stated, which is stop alcohol, give yourself peace of mind, make sure you reconcile with people, then fight less battle, even if you goes from therapy from now to tomorrow and he doesn't obey these four commandments that I earlier listed, definitely the therapy will not work for him. Now, I wish Nyesom Wike long life. I can't wish him prosperity because he's already a prosperous man, but I wish him long life. But he should know that he needs to fight less battle, and like life itself, power is transcendent, same for life, and he needs to begin to look after himself, and perhaps, God can give him enough long life to be useful to himself and family. I must say shout out to the people that I tapped from their wisdom and knowledge as regards what happened to Nyesom Wike. I need to consult some of my friends that are even not Nigerians, because I know that Nigerians will be able to easily identify Nyesom Wike. Shout out to these people that share their knowledge and expertise with me, and that is why I can make a video like this. I am a political scientist. I'm not a medical doctor, so if you find any error in this video, please apologies for any error. But I wish Nyesom Wike the best, and I hope that you'll be able to reconcile with aggrieved parties. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course I have great interesting videos coming your way. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.